Hey guys, welcome to Secret Headquarters. Really what this is, my office. And I just want to record this video and share with our community a couple of really cool things. Now, by the way, I know for most of you, you haven't seen my office. This is pretty much all I need. As a matter of fact, this one that you see behind me, this success stories photo on Perseverance, I've had this since I was in university. And the other one behind me, Imagination, same thing. So I think it's cool how those things follow me along, and I chose to put them there because they've got a lot of meaning to me. Perseverance, imagination, creativity. And part of that is a little bit of why I'm sharing this video with you today. Now, a couple of days ago, we closed another property funded by one of our passive private money lenders. We refer private money lenders in our wholesale business in Chicago and other markets to rehabbers who would buy from us, and they need money to buy and rehab the property, and they secure that by a first lien position or record a deed of trust. At least that's how we expect them to do it when we refer them, because that's also how we do it. That's how our private money lenders protect their interest, right? They're going to fund the acquisition, rehab, and whatnot. So to the point of this video, I'm just prepping for my next trip back to Chicago with my team. And on this particular property that we closed last week, we are taking a look at it from a couple of perspectives. And the reason why I'm recording this, by the way, is I was asked by one of our lenders who's coming on board with us, hey, tell me again about your diligence. And I had sent him our documents and our PDF report and how we do our diligence. And I was like, you know what? We just closed a property, so let me record this for you. And let me also share this with our community, because I found out a lot of you don't really understand exactly part of our deal-by-deal diligence. I've already shown you the high level, how we go into a market and segment it. I show you how we make our offers based on the purchase price, based on rehabs that are going on there for fix and flips, and also the resales. So we can map that together, and we know we've got a solid market based on the data, based on price per square foot, and then based on rehab. So now that we have closed a property, I'm going to share with you some of the things that we do prepping to go in to start the rehab. So in Chicago next week, what I'm doing is I'll have my architect there, I'll have my GC and some subcontractors, and I'm also going to have a number of brokers that are great brokers that either have a fantastic buying list for homeowners in that particular market, or they're great brokers at selling. They're listing agents that sell a lot of properties to homeowners in that market. Now, chances are pretty strong that in this neighborhood, all those brokers know each other. And whether they do like each other or not, at least I'm hoping they'll be professional, because I invite them into the property. And then what we do, my team and I, is we've already walked through the property with the architect. In the city of Chicago, for those of you that don't know, when you rehab a property, you have to have a architect plans and drawings with an architect stamp on it, and we submit that to the city. And when that goes to the city with a permit fee, then they come back, typically in 30 days, but sometimes it can be as long as 6 months, depending on the level of rehab you're doing. All we're really going to do is rehab the basement. When we bought this, it was actually legally rehabbed, which means there was no permit, so we have to demo the basement, and then we're going to put up a bedroom and probably add an additional bathroom to increase the value on that property. So when we get these brokers that come in, we're going to do this for two reasons. Number one is I'm going to decide who I should choose. Now I've got time, but I get an idea of the sense and commonality they all have with one another. Now, we're pretty good at rehabbing properties, very good in fact. One of the things though is an exercise in humility. When you're in a neighborhood, you should really get a sense of what it is that it will take to sell the property. And the people that have the pulse on the market, as well as yourself and your team, are also the listing and the sales agents on rehabs. So we're going to invite them in. I'm going to see how they all interact with one another, because whoever I decide to choose, because remember, this was funded by a passive private money lender for us. So that particular lender's interest is secured by a note on a promissory, on a deed of trust. And so I have to look after their funds that they've lent to us to do the project. And at the same point in time, I want to make a profit as well in reselling the property as quickly as possible. So I want to see the guys who get along with each other. The second thing I want to do is I want to solicit their feedback. It's important for me and important for our team to hear from those brokers, hey, you know something, you guys were going to rehab it with blah, 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 hardwood floors, right? Which we can get at about $1.90 a square foot. You know, I'm really going to recommend that all of our buyers now are saying they want this, this, this. Now, if we hear that 2 or 3 times, guess what? If that's what that neighborhood is wanting and asking for, and it works for us from the numbers perspective, then that's what we're going to do and implement in our plan, because we still have time. We have to submit the architect plans and the permits now to the city now that we're the owner of the property. Now, a third thing we're going to do is we've got the plan. I see how they integrate with one another. I see what feedback they've given us, which can be great, or, you know, everything's good and we've actually called it properly on the rehab. The third thing we do is I drop a sign, a for sale by owner sign in the property, even before we've swung a hammer. Now, the cool thing here, guys, is this. We've set up a phone number for every one of our properties so that any home buyers, potential home buyers, or rent-to-own buyers are driving the neighborhood, and investors call on for sale by owners to try to get a property. They'll call that number. And what I'm going to do is we're going to build our database. So we're going to build our database with potential home buyers that the broker that we choose, that they're going to get, right? So we're going to pre-screen these leads even before we sell them. Market the property for sale when it's rehabbed. We're going to pre-screen the leads for potential rent-to-own buyers, because that can help our wholesale business when we sell a property to a rehabber in the area. And we say, hey, look, we've got 18 people that would like to buy the property on a rent-to-own contract, right? And that just enhances the value of us flipping a property to an investor on a wholesale. And the third thing is we wholesale, right? So we've got potential investors calling us to buy our for sale by owner when we reveal to them, actually, we're a rehabber too, and we wholesale. What are you looking for? We build our buyers database. So 3 things out of that for sale by owner. So I'm increasing our capability to sell the property at the end when it's ready. I can hand those over to a broker, and if I choose to, negotiate a better discount on commissions because we've already got these leads pre-marketed and pre-built in. Then I'm also building my wholesale business, and I'm providing value to the wholesale investors that acquire from us. I'll take you through this property on another video when I get to Chicago and walk you through exactly what we've decided to do on the property. And then you can see the evolution of the demolition and the rehab and then the resale as we go forward, folks, in Property Mavericks. Now, another cool thing, I'd like to give a shout out here and a lot of credit where credit is due. I would not be here today if it weren't for my team in Chicago, and also my team of investors. And there's 2 types of investors who have worked with me, and I'm very humbled by that. And those are the investors who buy from my wholesale business, and then also investors who invest their money, lend it to my business to buy properties, rehab them, we resell them, or buy them, rehab them, would lease them up. And I'm so humbled by that. And we just closed the books on last year. And let me share with you a really cool statistic. And again, a thank you to this. According to Yahoo Finance, our investors, my passive private money lenders, they earn a 13.2% annualized rate. Now that's according to us, by the way. According to Yahoo Finance, in the S&P 500 for 2015, if you invested in the S&P 500, you would have had a 1.37% annualized return. If you had invested in the NASDAQ for 2015, you would have had a 6.98% annualized return. The passive private money lenders, real people who have invested their funds with my business to rehab and resell properties in Chicago, they earn an annualized return collectively of 13.2% for 2015. So for those of you who buy from us on the wholesale rehab side, and those of you who invest with me on the rehab side in Chicago and other markets, I want to thank you. Yahoo Finance, 13.2% annualized interest rate. You have beat the NASDAQ by more than double, and you have beat the S&P 500 by more than 10 times over. And it all comes down to your trust and your faith in myself and my team to execute. Such a cool number. And I'm very humbled by that. So thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I would not have this business and I would not be here at this point of my life without these great investors buying deals from us and investing in deals with us. Thank you, guys. More to follow when I get to Chicago. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Cheers.